Hi there, weavers. Well, I'm starting a new project. That's how a number of my videos begin. Is it really a new project? Well, sort of. I'm doing another scarf. I think I've mentioned in the last two videos that I'm working on a set of scarves that are going to turn into Christmas presents. This is, I think, the last one of them, although I've got enough of this kind of yarn that if I mixed all the different colors from all the previous ones, I might get another one yet. But this is the last one for sure that I want to get done before Christmas. So it's the same type of yarn. Let me grab a label. This is that Queensland Collection Recycled Tweed, 382 yards per ball of the stuff. This time the predominant color will be aquamarine, which if you look at it, it looks almost like a slightly bluish gray, but a dark gray. But it's got just a tinge of blue in it. So that's what we're working on. I'm at the point now where I've measured the warp. It's wound onto the back beam, and I'm now threading the heddles. So I'm going to move the camera just a little bit and let you watch me thread heddles for a few minutes, and then I'll turn the camera off and finish the rest of this off camera so I can go back to putting earphones on and listening to an audiobook. What's the name of this book? I'll tell you what I'm reading with my ears. It's called The Empire of the Scalpel. It's a history of surgery. Why would I do surgery? Well, because I am not a doctor. But I play one at Heritage Hill State Park, historical park. We have a hospital there that was built as a military hospital in 1834 as the hospital at Fort Howard. And I sometimes pretend to be the doctor at that hospital, and I fully admit I'm not a doc. You know, no way. I'm way too squeamish. You wouldn't catch me being a surgeon for anything. But I do talk about some of the surgical procedures that were done at Fort Howard at the time. So every once in a while I get to either reading or, in this case, reading with my ears, listening to an audiobook about historical medical practices, and that's what this is. So anyways, that's enough of that rambling on. Let's take a look at threading the heddles. So we'll grab these scarves. I'm doing at 12 ends per inch. And so I'm doing bouts of yarn in 1 inch chunks. So there's some white, some red, some white. Let's see, this ended on 4, so we're going to start 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's 3, 2, 1. Can we bring you in a little bit closer? Yeah, a little bit. So let's put these first couple of threads through the heddle. Wonder if I can get you even closer. Okay, let's grab the next 4 heddles. And it's a twill, so it's a 4-shaft pattern, so I'm working with sets of 4 here. So there's my 4 white threads. Now we'll do 4 red threads. And at this point I'm threading 4 3 2 1 4 3 2 1. Next 4 rattles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, three, 4. Okay, so there's, and we'll pull them through and put a temporary knot in just so that they hold in place. And these little slip loop knots. There's that. Now that was going 4 3 2 1. So now we're going to go into these darker threads and we're going to change our directions. So we did 4. Now we're going to do 1 2 3 4. 1 2, which will make this kind of a point twill. So the darker ones I'm doing 1 2 3 4. The lighter threads are doing 4 3 2 1. And hopefully when we actually get to weaving, you'll be able to see the direction of the twill change in the pattern. I was talking to the guy over at Icon Fibers, Josh, a week ago when I bought some more yarn, and telling that when I'm doing these scarves, you know, I do relatively short warps, although for a scarf it may seem long because I'm putting on a 3.5 yard warp. He likes to do really long warps, big projects, you know, put on 10, 12, 15 yards a warp or something. And I can do that, but I don't like to. I get bored with just one pattern for that long. And so, and you know, these things are narrow. They're only 11 inches wide in the reed here, 11 inches wide for total scarf width. So I don't mind 11 inches wide rethreading the loom. What's 11 times 12? Well, 12 times 12 would be 144. So this is what, 144, 132 threads. That's not too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll comb this one out just a little bit. And tie this one off too. There we are. 2 inches of warp threaded through the heddles while you watched. I'm going to turn the camera off and go back to listening to my book. And we'll show you what's next in a little bit. Okay, well, as you can see, I finished threading all the heddles, and now it's time to slay the reed. Let's separate these guys out into batches. Again, I'm sticking with approximately 1 inch at a time. And we'll go up through there, grab and pull down. Well, if it doesn't fall backwards on me. This part goes relatively quickly, you know. It's partly because I'm doing such a narrow piece. So we'll go back, pull these out again, and we'll just comb them out to be sure the tension's pretty even. There we are, looking pretty decent. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches done out of 11, so we've got 6 to go. Okay, gang, I'm near the end of slaying the reed. So we'll just do the last. It's not quite an inch, it's a little bit over. Instead of 12 threads, I've got 14. Because there's always a little bit of drawing at the edges, and I wanted a floating selvage. So instead of a 12 inch or a 12 thread inch, I went for 14 threads in this particular bundle. And where are we? There we are. Stuck. And after we get this on, I'll pull the reed into an upright position and lock it in place. There's the floating selvage. It probably doesn't show up very well on camera, but that's the last thread. So let's again comb it out just to be sure our tension's about even. And we'll put a knot into it. Now we'll take this up to approximately the full position, and I don't know if you can see, I've got a C-clamp here holding this in place. There it is, one C-clamp, another one over on this end. There's that C-clamp. I know it's a little bit dark, at least it looks dark to me. So now this is going to just sit there for a second and balance while I grab the top half of the beater bar. which we'll put in place here, and then turn, whoops, this upright. We'll move that over to center it, and then we'll just tighten the wing nuts that hold the top of the beater assembly in place. And there we are. We've got this all done. Now I can put the breast beam back on. That'll go, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little pin here that the breast beam is going to go onto, and then I can grab the tie-on rod and lash the thread onto, or the yarn onto the front. There we go. One bobbin wound and ready to weave. Okay, that bobbin is wound, and as you can see, nothing's been woven on here yet. So we're going to just start this puppy off with, I'm going to use the same, it's called aquamarine, but I don't think it's blue enough for that. It's mostly, but it's got a slightly bluish black to it. So let's see. The first two pics are going to be tabby, just so I've got everything tied down at the end, and then I will go to doing twill. Yeah, let's do it this way. Tie off this first one like this. Now we'll start the twill. Treadles don't feel right. They feel heavier than they should. I don't know why. I may have to crawl under the loom and look at this. But I didn't change anything from the last scarf for tie-up, so it should work. I think I know what the problem is. I'm going to have to go under the loom. Easily fixed though. Well, there we are, off to a good start. Well, gang, I'm just probably about halfway through this particular scarf, so we're just going to show you a little bit of the the weaving as I'm going on. I've been having a little trouble, it might happen right now, nope, with when I press on treadle number 8, which is the second of the walking parts of my 4-part thing. Every once in a while the shafts seem to cross each other and get stuck. Then I have to reach under the loom, move them around a little bit, and then I can keep weaving. I haven't figured out what's causing it. That was the wrong treadle. I'm paying too much attention to talking to you guys. And not enough on what I'm doing. That looks like the right one. Yep, that was right. Which just goes to prove I can't always walk and chew gum at the same time. Hope I did it again. Okay, so let's try doing this right for a change. Yep, see there it got caught again. And I don't know how to fix that. Hi again, weaving friends. Well, I have finished another scarf. This should be the last of them before Christmas, which is next week. But there we go, another one done. So let's take a quick look at it. The color on this is called aquamarine. I'm the darker color. To me it looks almost black with just a shade of blue in it. But the folks who made the yarn call it aquamarine, so let's call it aquamarine. I don't know. Let's take a look. Turn it sideways, easier to see. So at each end, because I have in this stripe going in warp direction, white, red, white, then gray, red, gray, gray, red, gray, then white, red, white, I put white, gray, red, white, gray, red weft stripes that are about 1 inch wide at the end. But then as we go through the scarf all the way down to the other end, we've got the red, gray, white, red, gray, white stripes again. So there's that. In one of the 2 previous videos, I've forgotten which one, somebody wanted to know how long my scarves are. They're not all exactly the same, but they're very close, couple inches one way or the other. Because I've started out these last 3 scarves with 3 1/2 yards of warp. And obviously there's always some loom waste although I try to keep it relatively minimal. So on this one, I measured. I got out my little handy dandy tape measure. It's only a 5-foot long tape measure, but you can move it to both ends. And I measured, and the weaving section of this is 94 inches. Well, 96 inches is 8 feet, so this is 7 foot 10 inches of woven length. And I usually use 6 inches of fringe for twisting, which gets me about a 4-inch actual twisted fringe, because it does tighten up a little bit as you're going. So that would be 93, well, 7 foot 10, 8 foot 10 long. 9 feet would be 3 yards, you know, because there's some drawing together lengthwise as well. So if the scarf is 7 foot 10 with twisted fringe, 8 foot 10, that's a pretty good sized scarf. So there you go. That's, I can't even pull my hands out to the full length. I'm close. But that's this one done. Another one done. Someone also asked, what type of yarn am I using? There's a label from one of them. So, Queensland Collection Recycled Tweed. And I've been using various colors in that. So, this stuff is 100 grams. And it's 382 yards. 40% recycled wool, 40% recycled polyester, 20% recycled acrylic. So now you know that. What else is there to say about this? Not much. This should be the last one before Christmas, which is next week, because they're turning into Christmas presents. So that's it. Until the next time, I haven't figured out what the next project's going to be. It'll probably be a little bit longer time period before the next video, because I have to make up my mind what I want to weave next. And whatever it is, it might not be quite as fast as weaving these scarves. These only take me roughly 10 or 11 hours from total start to finish. That includes measuring the warp, setting up the loom, weaving and twisting fringes. Probably about 11 hours. So anyways, that's that information. If you like my videos, hey, a thumbs up would be really appreciated. Comments, I read them all. I don't respond to everything, but I do read them all. And share my video, subscribe to my videos, all that stuff that every YouTuber says. And we'll catch you the next time around. Bye-bye.